We are live.
And now we're live.
Hello.
Everyone.
Welcome.
Matt's the reason we started late. He didn't set up correctly. So that's fine. Also, Amy is in Chicago.
Yes.
Correct? Yes.
She's going to be with Space 519 in Chicago, doing some appointments over there.
And Couture is out today as well. So the stylists are taking over. It's kind of a renegade, takeover for the moment. So we've kind of been driving home the idea of modifiers this week, correct? So kind of revisiting our all day live and like one of the segments and kind of like really just kind of just trying to solidify and just also be playful with it.
Yeah, we had some fun yesterday for sure.
Yeah.
At the atelier, the four of us New York stylists, we were playing around and just kind of doing, as Amy said this morning, kind of like a wife swap of our modifiers.
Yes, the
which
wife
was
swap. The image was really great, Amy. Thank you.
Yeah,
by the
thanks
way.
for that. Good graphics, but yeah, so we were having some fun and just kind of playing around to see what each of our individual takes would look like on another person's modifier.
Mm-hmm.
And, as Amy said as well, like, you can see clearly you have the point of view of whoever styled it, in the outfit, but it doesn't quite look as natural as like something we would have picked that would represent our own modifiers. And so it was kind of an exercise if you are looking to find your modifier, something that we thought could be kind of fun and spur some new thoughts in people.
Absolutely. I played with Sporty yesterday, and so we're gonna build off that and trying to put a new filter, a new lens on a modifier, and I guess just kind of trying something else out. So I decided to go with grounded, and so when I was like kind of taking the time to, I guess, like journal or expound upon this idea of grounded and how I would utilize it as a modifier, or what it meant to me as a modifier, I felt like I think grounded makes it leans so very like pragmatic, leans so very classic, and so it leans on that like the very far pragmatic scale. But I feel like people really interpret it as almost boring. So I wanted to take very like classic traditional outfits and then show that it really doesn't take a lot of work. Like the pieces will have that point of view and that personality for you. So you can do something that's extremely classic and at heart what it is, and then it literally has its own like detail and life beyond that. So to kind of start, we are all highlighting also a very specific piece. So like we're all gonna highlight. Yeah, Jen's like, yeah, Patrick, don't forget the important parts of the whole thing, like
Yes.
the whole live today. So we're all gonna highlight the Rodney chino. So we have that steel light gray color on. So again, chino, heritage material, essentially very, very grounded. The elongation of the leg, I feel, in this one has that kind of point of view, that interest, that personal sense of style. And then I'm wearing almost as basically a sweater set, in the sense that like it's the sweater vest, the Lambswool pink sweater vest with kind of that chewed up detail. Again, this is what's taking it from having a grounded outfit in the sense it is very classic, and then having just those little bit of details. So that chewed sleeve on this side specifically. And then I also have the cardigan again as well, that I'm just worn in a very like almost sweater set-esque. And then I'm wearing the Mario boot as well in the brown, because I feel like a brown shoe really grounds. So again, a very classic look, a khaki, a sweater set, but with something that feels like you're tapping into some creativity.
Yeah, and what I like that you did here as well is like, it would have been very straightforward to just wear the cardigan, on your arms traditionally. And so I like the idea of you using it as a set together, two pieces, but throwing the cardigan over. So in your styling as well, you can really kind of subvert some of those like more traditional ideas of like what a set means and how you can pair pieces themselves to style them a little bit differently and add some more interest.
Exactly. I also just want to highlight that we do have like, again, just pointing out those little details in the sense that like you can buy a pink sweater wherever, but with our Lambswool sweater, there's going to be there's those grounded. It's a grounded element in the sense that it is a pullover sweater, but there is that slit detail here on the side. You've got that fantastic slit detail on the back specifically as well. So again, there's just an element of playfulness, and then also our sleeve slit detail, so you can kind of play with the way that you're wearing it, and in a sense it's non-classic. So go ahead and break yours down for me, Jen.
Okay, so today I wanted to lean into the modifier risk taker. My modifier that I go with is playful, so I just really wanted to push this a little bit further to showcase the other end of the CP spectrum, you know, apart from a little bit more refined and grounded, something that can be a little bit more whimsical, playful, and take some risks here. So today I wanted to show the stone chino Rodney trouser. And what I did here was I gave it a big cuff at the bottom to just kind of play with the proportion of that long leg. And then I paired it back to the Doulier sweater, the turtleneck pullover in blue. So this is just such a inherently fun and pushed piece, I think, in this like very 50s looking, you know, blue, this bright color against the neutral trousers. And then just to top it off, I did the curly Victor in the gold, just really pushing all of the colors here, and then just adding like a small touch over here with my like navy t-shirt popping out underneath to make it feel like a little bit more roughed up, a little bit undone, and just kind of adding some extra details and interest that I thought would kind of, you know, balance out the whole look.
Yeah, I love the idea of like the polished sweater, the t-shirt that adds that kind of almost touch of athleticism.
Yeah, it just makes it feel a little bit less, you know, less put together, but in a way that finishes it off, if that makes sense.
Not even deconstructed, but an unintentional refinement,
yeah,
if you will.
Exactly.
Okay.
Just adding a little bit more depth and dimension to it. So.
Perfect. And then I think we have Grace. We'll trade off. Welcome,
Hi,
Grace.
everyone. Hi.
Like she hasn't been here before or anything.
I always feel new every time I'm in front of
I know,
you.
right?
I'm like, hi guys, I'm Grace. As you can see, kind of gearing back to the conversation that we're having, where we're highlighting these Rodney chinos. The colorway is the gray slate, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, we're talking about modifiers. And I decided to take on for this segment Sporty. And I absolutely love this idea of something so classic, seriously something that you've seen in your mother's closet, your friend's closet, your colleagues in college, you know, and it's such a great, you know, I think conversational piece as we're going through this, experiment, but obviously this exercise in which we're really just trying to understand what we can do with such familiar and classic styles and how we can utilize that to really present our individualism. So this is my take on Sporty, and what I thought was that to lean into the androgyny, to think about practicality, you know, shapes that really talk about, you know, making it a little bit more modern. And I decided to go with the patent leather Mario just to give it a little bit more of that ick factor. I absolutely love the square toe, especially since I am 5'1". I love to kind of cuff things to kind of make it a little bit more intentional, and also to have definitely a clean line, but kind of a way to mess it up in a sense where it's like I don't need a clean hem, I just kind of make it my own. So I'm doing it, and the square toe really just helps with that whole idea. And then I chose a sweater set, but I also wanted to kind of put the idea of a sweater sweat and turn it around. So this is our Skinlike Mercerized sweater set in the brown color. And I just thought that staying in a more grounded and more inviting color, especially with fall right around the corner, just to play into this. And what we're talking about when it comes to Skinlike Mercerized is that though this is a wool piece and it does keep you warm, I'm actually a little hot right now as I speak to you guys. It's absolutely thin, layerable, can be utilized to kind of tie around, you know.
Just funny you said that, sorry, a little tidbit. I had a virtual appointment this morning where we were kind of talking about modifiers and like but just purposeful like using of items, and like she's in the UK, and like this Skinlike Mercerized wool is fantastic for like those climates, for the sense that it adds warmth without adding bulk.
Exactly.
So
and this is why we decided to expand on this capsule, where we have quite a number of different colorways, different silhouettes. I'm doing the sweater set. Soon enough, Jen and then Patrick will be showcasing their take on this as well. But you know, this is just a way to kind of talk about lightweight knitwear and how we can utilize it to have a more of a functional piece take. So obviously I tied it around before, and this is just kind of allowing me to go throughout my day, kind of put it on when I'm in those, you know, air-conditioned, blasting offices. And then you've already seen how Amy tends to use this, especially in the fall when she kind of needs something just to cover up a little bit more. She kind of ties it around and does this. And this is all that is offering, is the fluidity and the thinness for you to kind of utilize it to whatever you feel like is necessary.
Sorry, Matt has a question. He was just trying to get my attention. Yeah, Matt, a question.
Ignore me until it's
Oh.
done. Will you just remind us your heights and sizes?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm 5'7", and I wear a small and a 4.
Great. I am 5'1". I'm usually a 0 and extra small, which is a 0 on this guy. These are samples, so a small, but I would prefer an extra small. Yep.
Perfect. And then I'm going to bring out Jen, and then, so just so you guys know, we highlighted the Rodneys. We all did the Rodney, and then Grace went ahead and paired the Rodney with her Skinlike Mercerized wool, so then we're going to kind of expand upon that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jen is going to give her take on, like, the Skinlike Mercerized wool through the new modifier that she's trying. So I'm going to go change.
Yeah.
You guys do.
So,
Hello.
risk taker.
Yes. So to kind of embody the modifier risk taker, I wanted to style the pale lime version of the Skinlike Mercerized wool. So I'm wearing the cardigan here.
As a top as well.
Yes, as a top. So buttoned up here, and then I have the last couple unbuttoned. And really what I wanted to do with this look was just kind of throw on a bunch of different pieces that I think embody different antonyms and show how that can kind of push a look a little bit further along this like creative spectrum. And so I'm wearing the striped Scotty jogger. This is an extra small, and then I have the cardigan, as I said, this is in a small. The hopper blazer here, which I'm wearing in a 4, and the Mario boot in wax calf down and bottom. And so really the way that I wanted to build it was I wanted to play a little bit with color with the cardigan, which paired nicely with like the super refined kind of grandpa texture of this hopper plaid Dennis blazer. And then just to kind of push it in a totally different direction, this feels very heritage, very a little bit like
Familiar and vintagey.
Vintage, yeah, absolutely. So I wanted to push it in like a more modern realm with the striped jogger, which feels very young, sporty, a little bit more casual, and just kind of let those two play off of each other to just create a little bit more depth.
I really love that with risk taker, and as those who are like their vision is to take risks, is that you did a print as well as a stripe. You're not afraid to mix these things, and all it does is really play into the theme, I guess, of what we're doing. So you're using sporty, you have heritage, this is definitely a pop of color, but all of these textures are really speaking to one another. And then again, we're talking about this modern square toe that really just gives you more depth, groundedness, if anything. And this is, again, a play on proportions, correct? Has this big, slim skin, throughout. I think this is a great take on risk taking, especially with the lime green, just kind of pulling everything as a pop, but making everything work really well together. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and the idea is also like using these patterns and these kinds of off colors. Like this is almost kind of like a no pattern living in that realm of ring-free colors that can really help you bring those brighter colors, such as the pale lime, into your wardrobe without it feeling so stark and so achingly modern. To me, this feels quite balanced.
Again, this is the good ick. It's the one thing that kind of just sticks out. It makes you a little bit like, I don't know what it is. Build that friction, that irony, but it goes really well and gives depth to your outfit. I think this is pretty great.
Thank you. So now I think Patrick is on.
Oh yeah, I'm back.
So
Hold on. I'm doing a little cuff too.
He's cutting it up.
Putting on the finishing touches. Yeah. So let's show how Patrick used his modifier to show the pale
Chris,
line.
do you want to change so we can keep on moving?
We'll keep stepping.
Okay, so the idea here is that I took a very clean outfit in the sense that like it is a white shirt, it is a pair of dark denim, and then it's like the idea of like that really simple cardigan. But again, we have that great, let's look a little closer. So again, very grounded in the sense that it's a very classic outfit, very, very classic elements, but let's get a little closer in the sense that the Eco Poplin has just those little touches of details Yeah, now you guys can see my tattoo. Those
your
little. Well, great, thanks. Just a little touch of details, so that it takes it again. It is classic and grounded, but it doesn't. It has a very clear point of view, design aesthetic, all of that, and a lot of intent behind it. Again, the Mercerized Skinlike Mercerized wool, you guys have all heard now. Jen and I loved mint, so we had to pick the same color, of course. Again, it is from the utilitarianism idea of the idea of like sheerness, warmth without adding bulk. Just reiterating that, and then I'm in the Sam jeans as well. Again, just a very, very very clean denim. But again, we have those little details. So it's the asymmetrical pockets. It's the way you can cuff it. It's that traditional carpenter detail, but it is really about kind of where it sits in the body as well.
Yeah.
So I'm wearing a small in the shirt, a large in this, just because I wanted a little more length in mine specifically, because it is kind of shrunken and I wanted some length. And then I'm wearing a 27 in the Sams.
Yeah.
So.
And what I like that I'm seeing as a common through line for this outfit and the previous one is I like that you're letting grounded really come through, I think, in the structure of the outfit.
Yeah.
Like, you are really playing with these kind of common, like, outfit formulas, if you will, but really toppling those over, like, on their head and kind of letting the details of each specific piece kind of shine through that.
Yeah, thank you,
Got
Jen.
you in, like, a new styling.
I get really excited, and so I just and emotional. I just pour out beautiful words that make no sense
They are
sometimes.
beautiful.
But Jen is always here to kind of rein me in, sorry. Yeah, and also just like Sarah, I think Sarah's stuff is pretty common like this, or very similarly, so I like just
because
kind of the
it's
idea
just
of
so
playing.
cool. If you get warm at the office, you can just like do something.
Is
like
this it?
and,
Yeah.
You kind of get it off you.
I also feel like it's like a cape since like I'm a superhero, like an office superhero. And then I think Grace is finishing up her final touches from there. Do you want to go change and then we can
I will get changed.
kind of move on? Oh, do you have another question?
To see the shirt without the cardigan.
Oh, without the cardigan? Here, yeah, I can do that. Hold on. Shirt without the cardigan. Matt, I had to lend on Brand. Where were you?
I was working on another technical.
Okay. Another technical issue, guys. Sorry. Okay, so again, guys, the idea is very simple in the sense that it is a colored white shirt, just a little bit of details. And you guys know, we've talked about Eco Poplin for a long time. We've done Eco Poplin for years at this point. I'm talking over here. It is washable at home, low warm iron, can care for it, at home. Doesn't need to be dry cleaned. You're good to go. Okay. And now we're on to
Jett suiting Liam.
Jett suiting Liam. I think just the Jett suiting collection in general too.
But so we're talking about utilizing same pieces, different modifiers, how it speaks to that.
Okay.
And we're moving on to the Jett suit Liam. So this is again my take on Sporty, and what I have underneath is the Italian Sporty Nylon Davenport dress, which does come in another colorway, which is featured right over here with our brown. But I decided to get to wear the black to kind of have a bit of contrast and play into a little bit more color. And then I have this really functional oversized cocooning heritage-esque feel blazer. It's actually one of my favorite pieces that we've kind of debuted for fall. I'm really interested in just the way that it talks about functionality. But I decided that this kind of was my take on Sporty. Obviously Italian Sporty Nylon, it has
the Sporty in the name.
But it's really just a
No
functional
brainer.
piece. I just think it's one of those items, or I should say collections, that really speaks to so many different walks of life. And for me, this just kind of is a nice way to have a really modern style brought into the forefront, where we've done the joggers, we've done the balloon pants, we've done skirts and sheared shirts, and now we're moving on to something a little bit more intentional. And I love the idea of having a sporty feel with something that is quite classic and also dramatic. I'm also a brat, so I really just want to play with this and kind of have like this huge tie right here and just be like, I'm going to work.
Matt, do we have another question?
Just when you get a chance, if you could show the shirt open.
The
This shirt?
Once-
Oh yeah. The mayhem has started.
So then you guys can just, I mean, obviously it's a button up in the sense that it has like just those traditional shirting details, the button. I did, before we move completely on to onto something else, I did want to talk about the other shirting detail in the sense that we did do a shirt in white and navy as well without the cutout specifically, but the hidden detail in this one is that there is the buttons on here that you can kind of, on the sleeve, and I'm going to get real close, so there's the sleeve, and you can kind of leave your hands throughout there and play with that as well. So just in case you didn't want the little slits, we did do something with a little bit of that little Easter egg per se, and then you don't have to do the slits if you want a little more coverage.
Yeah.
So I do want to talk about, Grace, like we were just discussing the sense that like people are surprised with like the fabrication and like the sense that like, you know, it's no surprise to us because we've always focused on fabrication like since
that's
the
always
inception.
The forefront, yeah.
Like to me, like the idea of like luxury behind like feeling something, and like, so I just wanted to like I just want to bring to the attention that the fall collection has a lot of these like very rich, luxurious fabrications in the sense that like you're going to get a great hand feel, you're going to feel that quality, you're going to feel the substantialness, you're going to feel the longevity. I think that like that's for me luxury, and like this kind of discreet luxury that we've been toying with or talking about is really about like having just that like quietness.
I also just think that talking about fabrication and talking about that quiet luxury, it's about a peace of mind in a sense. Like you don't really have to think about it. It's built to kind of just go adapt to whatever your life is throwing you, and that's including what I have on today. For instance, I have this Italian Sporty nylon. I look really smart. If I spill a coffee on me, guess what? It dries in 10 minutes, and I don't have to worry about that. Like,
because there's one thing Grace will do: it'll spill coffee
every day, all day. I don't look closely at my shirts, guys. I'm just saying. And I feel like that's when we talk about, you know, what we offer when it comes to these luxe fabrics. It's not. Yes, of course, we bring cashmeres and we kind of put it in a new silhouette or style that is a little bit more inviting for you to grab it, but also we're thinking about those things that make your life easier in general, and it doesn't have to be so obvious. It's something that, you know, you can kind of just bring along with you as you're doing your business trips, your family meetings, your day-to-day, you know, chores or whatnot. It's going to accommodate.
I'm gonna go ahead and bring Jen, since she has her jet suiting on too, and I'm gonna go change. So you and Jen can kind of expound upon this modifier.
I love this jacket so much.
Me too, Grace. Okay. Yeah, so I am also wearing the jet suiting Lamb, as you can see here. So the way I wanted to kind of play with it, and something I wanted to highlight, was all of the different ways that you can style this blazer because of the little Easter egg tidbits of details that it has included in it. And so just wanted to play a little bit with that. So underneath I styled it with the wool jersey hoodie underneath. And then I have the Felix crispy nylon jogger in brown to create the slim in this look. And then I paired it as well with the Harper heel to give this skin at the shoe.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to play with the zipper details that it does have over here on both sides. It has these in the back as well, but what I did was I looped this belt under the over the front too and under the back, so that it would just create a slim effect in the front of this. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of like showcase that a risk-taking look doesn't have to lean so heavily on color or on patterns. It can also really just be a play of textures that you have, and some little like styling tricks that can just be like under, you know, you have it on your sleeve.
I think this is just a really innovative take. You know, we're a lot of browns here, and it's definitely in this color story, but it's more along the line of different hues of it in order for it to really stand out, as well as the silhouettes themselves, such as the hoodie, which you wouldn't really think with a suiting, and then a blazer that has metal details to really stand out, and then this nylon pant that has a little bit more of a black metallic feel, which I think is so special, and then a strappy shoe that has a little bit of height. It's just all of these ideas and silhouette styles brought together to have that risk-taking feel without using something that's so visually obvious, such as color.
Yeah, and again, I'm finding the look very glued together by the antonyms, by the friction that it's causing internally, just with the sporty fabrications and the refined silhouette of the blazer and the heel going along with it. It's just creating like a lot of depth by having internal friction inside of it.
For sure, and this is another thing that kind of can be utilized in Plaid when you're thinking about this particular style, is the fact that it does have this strap feel and you can kind of just have it hang. And I'm just thinking about this if you're in work in academia and you're kind of walking around from your office to your classroom and you're just have a little bit of a hot moment, you can definitely utilize this to your advantage. But I think Patrick's here. He's going to show us his wit version of this, and I will be moving on to the next.
Let me borrow this one.
Outfit.
Yes. Okay. Again, I think you guys have highlighted. Yeah, like I'm like grounded. Okay, you know what I'm playing with modifier wise. And then Grace has so beautifully gone through all the key details. I feel like. Of the Jett suiting blazer. So I'm just, again, pulling it back to the very simple idea of suiting with a t-shirt in our perfect unisex tee in the black color, and then just utilizing, I mean, Grace and I matched, basically. And then just utilizing the suit as it is truly intended. And then I do want to just highlight, because I don't think this is getting enough love, per se.
Yeah.
I do want to highlight that the Jett suiting does come with that great pleated skirt. With that really substantial belt. Do you want to hold it?
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to point out like some more of the details here. I think this could have been a good option for me to throw on as well. We were kind of showcasing the blazer here, but this to me can be such a risk-taking piece, because what I love about this is that the pleating happens, if you hold
It's
it straight, you
circular.
can kind of see it's angled in such a way that it's really letting the pattern play with your eye, so it's not matching up directly with this front panel. You know, you have the straight plaid going down it, but then this is creating just a little bit of a, like, it just creates some dynamic, like, movement when you are walking with it.
Yeah, I believe, the pleating was based in a circular pattern. Amy was explaining to us recently when we were just going over everything. Again, this is similar to our tropical wool wrap skirt that you guys have seen in the past. I think that this is the updated version that we have, like that little bit of detail in the pleating. We have like it's a thicker belt around here, but the same intended fit, the same low slung intended fit with that kind of gapping right below the belt area. Okay, Jen, let's see. What else? What do we have next?
So Grace is getting dressed up in our next outfit. We're going to go on to jeans shortly.
Oh yes, the Iceberg, correct? The Iceberg jeans, fantastic. Let's open it up for a question real quick. Do we have any, Matt? No at the moment?
Sizing.
Oh yeah, let's do sizing too. Yeah, thanks.
Yes.
Okay, I'm in a 4 specifically here. I'm in a small on the t-shirt. I'm gonna take this off so you guys can see the full tee, and I just have to get close up because this is a very it's not like the ones you guys have bought from us before, those mock neck tees. It has a thicker fabrication. It almost has like this little bit of sheen, and there's a little bit of stretch woven throughout. So I just love the idea. And then the jacket I was wearing a 4 as well. What do you got? Break it down for us.
So here I have the small in the blazer. I normally go for an extra small in the Liam, but this is the sample that we have. And then I just wanted to take off the belt here so I could kind of show a little bit more detail of the blazer. So as I was saying, I have the zippers open in the front here, but I'm just going to close them for you to kind of show like what that would look like if I had that, or if I had buttoned the blazer over with the crossover button. And then I'm wearing the Felix in a small, and the tunic again also in a small.
Is this the sleeveless one?
Yes, this is.
Again,
so.
just highlighting again another piece where it's adding warmth without bulk. I think that is I just feel like that's a big thing that we can talk about for winter, in the sense that in fall, that season.
Yeah.
Oh, Amy says, can you talk about how to wear now and later in these pieces, because they can be worn through various months.
Oh.
So how do you travel with them?
Thank you, Amy, for some guidance. Thank you. Do you want to go first in yours, essentially, since you have kind of this wide range of options?
Sure, yeah. So the Felix, for sure, in our crispy nylon, is a 12 mower piece. So if I was going to, this would be so easy to dress up for our current weather, especially on a kind of like rainier day here in New York. So I would just, throw this on with, a bodysuit if I wanted to wear something like a little bit more like sporty and casual, and maybe tie a cardigan or something like that around my shoulders to kind of just add a little bit more of a proportion play going on. But then this tank as well, since this is a wool jersey, it's relatively lightweight, but it does pack a punch for warmth. I would wear this if I knew I was going into like a chilly office. It's not so heavy that when you're commuting you're going to be dying, but like when you are inside, it is going to keep you nice and warm, even though you have your arms exposed.
And also, like, you already have like a lot of slim going on, so like just obviously you can switch out if you're looking to kind of balance the big slim skin proportion. We can talk about like adding the brown Stella in that sense, and like instead of the Felix specifically.
Yeah, if I was wearing without the blazer, for
Yeah.
sure, just to create a little bit more like balance between the sun.
And so I actually wore this to a concert last night. So this t-shirt I feel like is just 12 mower for me. I love a good quality t-shirt. I love a heavyweight t-shirt. So I wore this last night to a concert on a rooftop over here. And I honestly probably would wear this right now, but I would do a sandal instead. Mm-hmm. So I would do a wrap sandal. The pant is a little heavy, like the fabrication, in the sense that it has I feel like it's going to be very good during the fall season, but I would wear this in the sense that I can get somewhere now. The blazer, I would wear it like to the office here, like when I'm hanging out. Yes, Matt.
Amy asks, can you show people how the zipper on the pants is always to be worn open?
Oh, yes.
Yes, please.
Of course. So as you can see, I have the zipper on the Felix about half closed, maybe 1/3 closed right now. This is pretty much the most you should wear it closed. If you unzip it all the way, really the effect that you are going to get is just that it will drape around the leg, creating this kind of slit on the side that is just going to create a lot more ease throughout the whole pant, and you're going to let it fall as intended. If I were to fully zip the pant, as you can see, the elastic cuff is quite slim around the ankle, and so it creates like a little bit more of a bagginess throughout the pant that's going to puddle at the bottom, and this, it kind of messes with the slim proportion, the effect that the pant is intended to have.
Absolutely. Okay, I think we have Miss Grace. Are you ready to introduce?
I'm here to introduce
Denim?
Yes.
Denim. I'm going to leave you. I'm going to go ahead and change too so that we can all
Yeah.
kind of circle around. Is that okay?
Sounds great.
All right, guys, we'll be back.
Alright. So, we're moving on, and we're going to be talking about, our acid wash jeans and the Iceberg jeans. And this is a new style that we have just introduced for fall, and this is our Newman pants. As you can see, it's a little higher up. It has this distressing right over here, a 2-button closure, and then it kind of goes straight down. One of the cool details is also it has this kind of a line inseam right here in the middle. And then I'm 5'1", so it's not terribly long on me, which, is always a plus in my book. But again, we're talking about modifiers, correct? So again, going into the modifier, I decided to try to encapsulate today, which is Sporty. And I'm really thinking about, fabrics that speak to me when it comes to functionality, practicality, things that I'm familiar with just like an active wear. And I leaned into this idea of having this nitro jersey. And this came in the gray slate color, which I think is just so beautiful. It stands alone quite well. And it's just like a really kind of an off gray. I like to think of it as more as a marble, but it's a double layer, compact, and as you can see, it's quite structured. It's holding a lot of stuff in, guys. But I think it's just a really great structure, also a slim factor when it comes to proportions. And I decided to kind of put these together because I wanted something a little neutral. And then this guy, which is our Aroon blazer, I believe in the evergreen or fern green? Evergreen? Which has this starchiness, this cotton, very breathable, not necessarily precious, done in a very smart blazer, which you can kind of just button up, kind of make it really well put together. With the change of a shoe, let it be the Croc Pedros. I look like I'm really going forward to seeing a meeting or kind of maybe meeting a friend. Just a little bit more intention and polishedness. Obviously, we're talking about heritage in that sense, but I kind of paired it with these pistachio variants because I love the fact of, you know, just walking around, being very comfortable. I think when you talk about that sporty feel, comfort is really one of the key components. Not as obvious, but also just pretty on point when it comes to that, you know, mindset. And I picked the pistachio color to kind of bring in all of this together, create have a good ick to it, a gloss. But yeah, it's kind of the big. It's a statement without being a statement. So I thought this would be pretty great just to kind of highlight how you can bring past, present, future into your wardrobe. You know, utilizing what you could have just gotten from the latest, you know, portion of our markdown. That can really work well. Here's Patty.
And I'm back.
And these are the
Newman.
The Newman. Oh, you're wearing the Newman as well. Yay!
Yeah, I wanted to say, I'm 5'7", so I wanted to for everyone to see kind of like a different height as well.
I love where it sits on you.
So again, we were just talking. Okay, so lower slung on this one, guys. It is like a mid-rise. The frame. This is supposed to be a low slung, specifically intended fit. Just so you're aware.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm wearing the Newman. I'm in a 27.
I'm in a 25.
Okay. And I have the, what's the sweater called?
Duolette.
Yes, the yellow. And then, okay, good. Very classic outfit. Going back to being grounded. It's the modifier I'm playing with. The one little detail, again, that's the whole caveat of this, is that
yes,
your collar
it's
comes
so
off.
good.
So you get double the use in the sense that now
double
this
the
has
style,
come.
double the use.
Yeah. Also, you if you need like a little bib per se, like
I love this. Hold on,
in
can
the
I do
moment.
this
Yeah,
for
let's
you?
do the bit. Let's see if that's.
Will this be?
So we'll just do it like this.
Where are you going?
It's right here. I got it.
Look at you.
So yeah, there you go. Now you have a neck handkerchief, if you will. And I'm wearing a small on this one as well. So has an oversized fit.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. Jen, come on.
Yeah.
Hello.
Do you want to all
Yeah.
be on? Okay.
Hi. Okay, so I am wearing the Newman jean. To reiterate again, it's a low-rise jean with the frayed hem. And then to embody the modifier of risk taker, I paired it here with the sheer gauze long sleeve tee. So this guy is going to be like a full long sleeve version of the ones that we did for spring in black and white. And you know, I think it feels kind of obvious that I would wear like a sheer tee with a darker colored underpinning underneath as like a risk taker piece. And so I just wanted to show how wearing something that can be a little bit more pushed can still be drawn back and grounded a little bit to still live in the whole like CP, you know, you want to feel grounded, you know, you're never going to be pushed entirely to one direction or another. So I just wanted to ground it a little bit more by adding some coverage with the wool tricotine blazer. And then I have the dickie here. So this blazer does have a removable dickie. So it can be worn like so, or with the dickie on top. And so what I did here is I just left it like unpinned to the blazer so that it would have some movement along with it. And then I'm pairing it again with the wax cap Mario boot, which is now my favorite shoe.
Yeah, I literally have
I've worn that how many times? So.
Yeah.
Matt, did we have a question?
No.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You could talk once more about like the now and later of your looks. How is the jean transitioning into a new season?
Yeah. Do you want to
the
explain it?
blazer?
I feel like you guys are wearing it in a row.
It's actually pretty.
I mean, yeah, and actually, very much so. I feel like this is very representative of spring. So, like, this is how you're wearing it back to the items that you, again, past, present, future. This is how you're wearing it with the items you bought from spring. So, again, there's an extra jersey, the bodysuit, the Aaron suiting blazer. You
You
just
know,
pulling in a little bit
I also
of the
think,
future with this.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I also just think that with the acid wash, and you know, as someone who, when it was brought as an idea, I was a little skeptical because I was like, okay, where is this going when it comes to the tool that can be utilized in your closet? And really what the acid wash does is just brings a texture and gives it a little bit more friction when you pair it with things. I have something on that's seamless and a little bit more of a classic coloring, and all this does is kind of clashes that and has a presence, but at the same time it's nothing so, you know, obnoxious or so outrageous. It's just a nice little play on a just more interesting texture that's brought into the play.
So it's your tool for adding friction.
Yes, for
Boiled
sure.
down. Yeah.
Mhm.
Perfect. And then Jen, I feel like, yeah, transitional.
Yes, definitely transitional. Keeping with like the lightweight materials, you know, wearing this kind of thin, layerable piece underneath, you know, makes it so that I can wear a blazer, you know, when I do get to the office or wherever it is I'm going, and I'm not, you know, it's living in those like few weeks in New York that we have that are the beautiful time of fall and spring, you know, between the like harsh summer and harsh winter. So
Yeah. And then I think I'm wearing it, you know, full on fall.
mhm.
In the sense that you're pairing it with a heavier sweater. You're, you know, utilizing denim in the winter for warmth and so on. Yeah. A question.
Do you mind to talk about how the shape of the Aaron suiting is similar to the hopper so people can understand?
Oh,
the shapes?
thank you, Bren.
Because we got a few questions saying the Liam versus this.
Oh, cool. Okay, so if you bought the Aaron suiting from spring, the hopper and the max are going to correlate to your sizes. They're gonna match the sizes. So again, like it's the same. Do you mind just it's the same like 3-button kind of construction. The hit, like where it hits, is a little different, I would say, and there may be a touch of length, but it's not going to change your sizing. They're
Yeah.
kept with the same design in mind.
For sure. I would say, if anything, as you can see lengthwise, it's right about here. Our sleeves, you know, we don't believe in fingers, so of course it's going to be covering a little bit on the knuckles. But yeah, this is just a little bit more structured here on the shoulders, a little more narrowed and fitted. But it only talks about what your intention is when it comes to the blazer itself. If it's layering, if it's just a coat, we can always guide you when it comes to sizing. But this is probably a size 2 for me, which is a size up from what I would usually get, which I think is pretty perfect, to be honest. So,
Yeah, looks good.
Do you want to iterate sizing one more time, guys, so everyone's aware?
Oh yeah. So in the Newman jean here, I'm wearing a 26, extra small, sorry, in the sheer top, and then in the blazer, this is a 4, just for the sample today.
I'm wearing a size 25 in the Newman, extra small in the Nitro, a size 2 in this guy, and the sample, which is a 39, but I would get a 36 in this guy.
The Barons run true to size.
The Barons do run true to size unless you have a half size, which we would recommend sizing up just to give you a little bit more space. This is a big shoe, so lean into that.
Yeah, and the classification of big slim skin, it would be a big shoe. Yeah, and the Barons only come in whole sizes, guys. That's why we're saying, like, if you have a half size, push yourself to that whole size specifically.
Mhm.
So, perfect. Any other questions? We'll.
What about
so-
your sizes?
Oh, I'm 27,
Your sizes.
27, small, and then I'm wearing the Croc, Pedro, and I'm wearing it in, I think this is the 40. Yeah, this is the 40 specifically. So,
Cool.
If
Yeah.
you wear a size small in the Liam, what are you taking in the hopper plaid?
I'm taking a 4,
Yeah, 4.
because I wear a small in the Liam. So that would correlate. So small is a 4. That's how you would do that.
Have you played at all with the key on the?
Yeah. So as I showed earlier, the dicky is removable.
Yeah.
So
Can I
you
put that dicky on?
Yeah. So you can use that just as a layering piece as well with other jackets like Grace has here. Just adds a little bit more dimension. And then this is just a 1-button blazer, so it has this kind of like covered button situation, and it does have a little bit of like an asymmetric detail going on, which just adds a little bit more interest to there as well.
So guys, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this fabric was.
Yeah, Patrick, talk
Specifically-
about this beautiful fabric that we have. This
again,
is the
just kind
wool
of
tricotin.
drawing a circle back to what Grace and I were talking about, Amy, like the discreetness of luxury. And so I believe Tracy had a pair of pants that she wanted to make a suit out of for this collection. She took it to Italy to see if they had the actual fabric, and there's nowhere that it was made. So this was a custom made fabric for Tibby specifically. So this and the pants in both the khaki and the black color were custom made fabrics for Tibby specifically, because again, just speaking to the fact that we really rest on fabrication, it's about that quiet, that discreet luxury. And you have a question, and I'm done.
Continue on fabrication. Can you describe the thickness of your sweater and how that material plays for you?
This is, I would say it's like a medium weight. Like in comparison to like the Lambswool that I had on earlier, this is definitely lighter, and there's a touch of breathability to it. So I'm gonna get a little closer so you guys can see. It's not like I mean, it's opaque, but there's somewhat of a little bit of a looser weave. So there's air coming through, but it has again, it packs a punch.
Yes.
When it comes to the heat element, and then holding that in. So
I think it's a little bouncy.
it does. It has like, yeah, there's stretch and there's like bounce to it in that sense. I hope that's a little more clarifying for everyone. I'm gonna get a little closer so you guys can see
And
as
I'm
well.
curious now, as when it comes to the Aaron and the Max,
Aaron.
and the Max, like where do you wear them to different places? Do you like how do you utilize them, or can they both?
Oh, great.
Well, I think that this is a really great middleman when it comes to, do I need let's say a valve piece, you know, to dress up something that's a little too basic, or I wouldn't say basic, but, you know, to give it a little bit more life, or, you know, to dress down something that is quite, you know, luxe, or, you know, just, and I think that's how you would kind of place this. It does come in another color, the tamarind color, which I love both colors. But it's really just meant to kind of have an ease. As you can see, it's a little more starchy in a sense, and I feel like that's a great character to
Step up the
highlight.
show a little. I think it's
Yeah, speaking to that fabrication as well, I think it's also a little bit of a question of what season you're in and where you're located.
Mhm.
For some of you who are maybe in Australia or Bali, somewhere very like tropical kind of climate, the Aroon suiting is like a really great option because it is 100% cotton. It's super breathable as well. You know, tropical wool too is a great 12 mower fabric, but if you are looking for something that has a little bit more of a summer feel to it, this can be it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
But Jen, I also want you to highlight the texture of this guy. Again, we said it's a custom-made fabric, so I really want you to see the details of the weaving.
So just coming back into here, yeah, as you can see, it really just gives this feeling that's like reminiscent of a vintage men's suit.
Which I do.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Also, Amy, I love your comment about the sweater. Yes, that's a very good way to put it. It has that spring, but early fall aspect about it. Okay. Okay, well, we'll open it up for any more questions, and then,
Do you want to say the name of the suiting, the tricotine?
the tricotine.
Yes. So again, this
Break
is
it down,
the
girl.
refined wool tricotine blazer. And it does have 2 different pairs of pants to match with the suit. It comes with its own Rodney trouser, which is the chino that we were wearing earlier. It comes in the same silhouette. And then it comes in a Simon trouser, which is our trouser version of a Sid jean. So it has that kind of sculpted leg to it and a little bit more mid-rise feel.
Right. And it comes in a Rodney too. So there's gonna be the Rodney
Yeah.
and then the other pant. Guys, this is launching next month, just so you're aware. We wanted to go ahead and just bring it out, talk about it, kind of get the wheels a turning, so you're aware of when it's gonna be available. So again,
Yay.
this khaki color and black as well.
It's on my list, okay.
It's on my list because nostalgia is my modifier, my real modifier. So, okay. Thank you guys. Thank you, Amy, for your comments as well and your
Yeah.
guidance today. And
What's going on with the store? Can you
oh my
remember?
God! So
yeah,
the
the
store. Thanks, Matt. Where we were.
In other words, why are we still here?
Yeah, why are we still here? The store is almost completed. We're thinking Saturday, but for sure we're going to be there Tuesday, the 25th. So if you're in town, you want to come say hello, it will be new, it'll be beautiful, we'll be there to welcome you. So,
Also, no. Also, if you would like to see right when we do open, and have an appointment, feel free to use our Calendly links that are in our bio. So you can set up a time slot, and we'll be more than happy to be available for your assorted time.
yeah. Okay. Thanks,
Awesome.
Matt.
Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
Thanks, Matt.
Bye.
Take care, honey.